zone. Today I want to try something new. Can you hear the music in the background? Sometimes during our conversation, I'll cease talking and I want you to know there is music playing in the background. Don't analyze it, just know that you hear it. Focus on that knowing. In those moments, various thoughts might arise and distract you. And that's absolutely normal. That's how our mind works. If you notice you've become distracted by a thought, gently return to the awareness that you're hearing music. Shall we try? Just for a minute. Question. Who are you? Most likely your answer will be something like, my name is so and so, I'm this many years old, I work in this position, I'm in this kind of relationship. Someone else might say, I'm a millionaire, or I'm an American. But what if I told you that behind all these definitions of I lies something much deeper and boundless? A dimension untouched by time or any upheaval that might affect all the things we just listed. Money can vanish, jobs can be lost, families can fall apart, and your personality, hopefully you understand this, will die when the time comes. Suppose right now the money you identify with disappears. Will you cease to exist? And if you lose your job tomorrow, it might be painful, but the one you truly are will not disappear. You might argue, but if I die physically, I'll definitely be gone. And that's exactly what I want to talk about. What you truly are is immortal. But because you identify with forms, your personality, job, family, problems, successes, and all forms, as we know, are impermanent, you believe you can die. Let's go a bit deeper. Throughout your life, your beliefs, interests, thoughts, and desires have changed. And yet you know that you 10, 20, 30 years ago was still you. Of course, someone might say, no, way, I was a completely different person 20 years ago. And I didn't believe you. People change. Or rather, their personalities do. But still, you know that 20 years ago, that was you, right? On a level slightly deeper than personality. So how do you know that? Who knows that? Let me pause for a couple of minutes. Preferences changed over your life, but you know you were always you. Your thoughts changed, but you know you were always you. Moreover, your body cells are constantly renewing, so the body you had a year ago is not the same one you have now. Yet you know that you are still you. Think about this. If you were only a personality with fears, worries, desires, interests, then each time those changed, so would you. You wouldn't even be able to remember who you used to be. Like if an eye were the objects it sees, it wouldn't be able to see anything else. But that's not what happens. Why? Maybe because we are not the objects of perception. We are not our thoughts, worries, interests. Maybe you are not a personality at all. Then who are you? Let's try something. Close your eyes and focus your attention on the sensations in your body. It could be the feeling of your clothes or the awareness that you're sitting on a chair. I mean the contact between the chair and your body. Or perhaps just the tingling in your hands or feet. Also observe the mind's activity, and each time you notice that you become distracted by a thought, gently return to the sensations in the body. Thoughts will come, and that's normal. Even if they were just glimpses, when thoughts were absent and you were completely focused on sensation. Tell me, did you disappear? No, you knew you existed. Now try to answer this. Who perceived the sensation in your body? It clearly wasn't the personality, because there were no thoughts, and personality is formed by thoughts. The personality, or ego, is a bundle of thoughts that tell you who you are. So the sensations were not perceived by the personality. Then who? Let's pause for a minute. cannot be answered with words. The most accurate response would be silence. Because any word we use to describe the observer turns it into a concept, into an object of perception. And as we already discovered, any object of perception can be observed. But who observes that? It's a closed loop that always leads us back to this question. Still, let's give it a name. This is awareness. Awareness is not an object. Awareness is a process. Now, to show you clearly that you are not your thoughts, I ask you to observe them just as you did with body sensations. This may be slightly harder, but please try. If before we meditated with an object, like music or body sensations, and returned to the object when distracted, now I suggest objectless meditation. Please close your eyes and allow everything to be. If a thought comes, let it unfold, but remain aware that it exists and follow where it goes. Know that it disappears. Know that another appears. Know that the thought is talking to the fourth. allowed our personality to exist. And yet, we realized that we are not the personality, but something much greater. You could say that you are the space in which thoughts, sensations, emotions arise. And even more than that, everything you perceive, sounds, visual images, feelings, exists within and because of this space of awareness. The deeper you practice, the more you will see how boundless it is. How to deepen your practice? Try to remain aware always, everywhere. Observe your thoughts, your emotions, and remember, you are not them. You are the one who observes them. The more attention you give to thoughts and emotions, the more they control you. Attention is inner currency. So give your attention to the present moment, to sounds, to sensations, and ultimately to awareness of awareness. That's when you know that you are aware. Why the present moment? Because it is the only thing that's real. The past is gone. The future will never unfold exactly as imagined. All past events happened in the present, and all future ones will happen in the present. Did you notice during meditation that as soon as you noticed a thought, it lost its grip and dissolved? That's because you didn't give it attention. Your attention wasn't on the thought, but on the awareness of the thought. I'd like to offer you something else. Look at the objects around you. At the same time, observe how the mind instantly names them, conceptualizes them. This helps us survive. Our brain has learned to instantly recognize what's in front of us. That's how we avoided danger. But in the modern world, real danger is rare. And the mind constantly breaks reality into concepts. When we name, interpret, evaluate an object, it stops being life. Please choose an object and really look at it. Its color, shape, light, light reflections, the texture of the material. Notice how beautiful it is. Of course, the mind will keep labeling, but you didn't pay attention. It names, you see, and you return to the living beauty of the object. I have a right ear here. thoughts, not emotions, not the body, not the ego. I am awareness. But why then am I immortal? When physical death comes, won't the ability to be aware vanish? But you are missing something. The essence of who we are experiences the world through form, through the body, through the mind. The form dies, but life is not limited to form. When a form dies, others appear through it. A tree, grass, a larva, a fly, a caterpillar that later becomes a butterfly. You already know that you are not the body and not the personality. Now you need to understand that you are life itself, an inseparable part of it. You are life that is becoming aware of itself. You think you're separate from the universe because your ego thinks so. It strives for separation. It believes it's a unique drop in the ocean. But that's not true. You are not the drop. You are the ocean. The essence of you were never born and will never die. And we need in every moment to identify less with our ego and more with life itself. Consciousness is one. On the deepest level, I am no different from you and you from me. Consciousness permeates all forms of life, in any country, on any planet, in every universe. Beneath existence and non-existence underlies something that allows everything to be and not be. Some call it God, others the Tao, but however we name it, each of us is not just a part of it. Each of us is it. Everything around us, from the tallest mountains and fiercest predators to specks of dust and insects, came from it and will return to it.